What is up, guys? How we doing? How we doing? We got a new subscriber last night. Thank you for joining. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate your support, and welcome to the team. I shaved. I know it might freak you out. It's okay. It'll be back in 2 days, I promise. We are at 125, man. And I know that that's not the biggest number in the world, but I just continue to be amazed by your guys' kindness and your support, and I just really can't believe, I just remain astonished that I've gotten this far. So here's the 150. So today I wanted to dedicate a video to my favorite band, Chevelle. I've talked about music twice and talked about my favorite band and talked about Chevelle a little bit, but I actually wanted to dedicate a video to them because they just dropped 2 singles and they are both certified gold, dude. They're both bangers. They're both awesome, which is great because I didn't like their last album, and that's the first album in 9 albums that I didn't like. Didn't like feels a little bit harsh. The highs were super high, the lows were not that low. It was an okay album. I didn't like feels a little bit too harsh. And still, Self-Destructor, Peaches. Self-Destructor is one of the best Chevelle songs ever made, so I was okay with not liking the album just because we got that song. But apparently they're coming out with a new album August 15th. They released 2 songs called Coward 1 and Coward Part 2. The technical name for them is Rabbit Hole and Jim Jones. And their new album is going to be called Bright as Blasphemy. It releases on August 15th. And they are both awesome. They're both awesome. Rabbit Hole is very vocally driven. It's got a nice guitar riff. And on first listen, I didn't like it that much, but it grew on me. The longer the song goes on and the longer the note gets in the chorus, like Pete, dude, he has such beautiful vocals. And the song is an absolute banger. And I love the lyrics, too. And I love that it's a 2-part song. And then the second song, Jim Jones, completely different. Great in its own way. It's more riff heavy, bass driven, and it gets more aggressive throughout the song. And then the screams Pete lets out at the end of that song are like, holy shit, old man, you still got it. And it's just exciting. I'm like a giddy little kid over here. My favorite band is like, if the rest of the album's gonna be like this could be one of their best albums. I mean, this is a good back-to-back, and if you listen to them in a row, it makes sense as to why they're a part 1 and part 2, because the lyrics really flow together. Like, they've always been very lyrically deep, and so I just wanted to talk about the band, their history, and how they're criminally underrated today. So, Chevelle formed in, I believe, in 1996. Others say 1994. They had Basement tapes, but they didn't come out with their first album until 1999. It was Pete Loafer, his brother Sam, and the drummer Matt. Matt left shortly after the band formed, and they actually got their third brother, Joe. So, from 1996 to 2005, it was just 3 brothers rocking out. You got Pete on the vocals, Sam on the drums, and Joe as the back vocals and bass. And for 3 guys, they make a lot of noise. So their brother Joe eventually left in 2005, and then their brother-in-law, Dean, came in, and still basically a family band. And just recently, I think Dean parted ways with them, which is why I'm really giddy about this album coming out, because I kind of thought that they were going to break up. Really happy we're getting an album here. But that's basically their history as a band, oversimplified, because I'm trying not to make this video an hour. Now let's get into their albums. In 1999, they came out with Point Number 1, which is an album that I didn't really discover, actually, until I had heard Chevelle for quite a long time. It's not bad. It's not a bad album by any means. It's a decent debut. It's not like The Poison, by Bullet for My Valentine. I don't know how Bullet came out so strong, but it is a good preview into how Chevelle is going to sound and evolve. It's got a more raw sound, and a lot of people compare Chevelle to Tool, and I would say that they sound the most Tool-like here in point number one. And then they came out with Wonder What's Next. Wonder What's Next has the red on it. That's the song everybody knows by them. And the red isn't even in the top 30 of like best songs by them. And but it had Send the Pain Below on it as well, and those were the two singles. But the entire album, front to back, is awesome. Family System, that's the opener. It's super crunchy, super heavy. And then it ends with One Lonely Visitor, which is a very pretty, slow song, very sad, very... Whenever I started covering music, Pete was the guy I tried to hit, and One Lonely Visitor was a song I tried to cover a lot, because back whenever I was, 14, 15, discovered this band, that song really hit home with me. After Wonder What's Next and its success with the red and Send the Pain Below, and it was just a great album, solid front to back, like I said. Don't Fake This is the first song I ever heard with screams in it, which led me down the rabbit hole to discover more harder bands. So Chevelle was that gateway band for me to find heavier bands. The song Wonder What's Next, the title track, super awesome. An Evening with El Diablo, just so many amazing songs on that CD. Comfortable Liar, Forfeit, And I just love Pete's screams. They're so sharp, they're so powerful, and he wraps them up with a little snarl on the end of them, and he's just so vocally talented. And after that came out, we got This Type of Thinking Could Do Us In, which This Type of Thinking Could Do Us In and Vinacera are probably my two favorite albums from them. Now, This Type of Thinking Could Do Us In is in parentheses, has such amazing songs on it. Again, front to back, just an amazing album. Vitamin R is a really good song. Still Running is an amazing song. Tug of War, The Clincher, Get Some, Another Know-It-All. Such great songs on that album. But then Vinacera comes out after that, and to me, if I had to pick a favorite Chevelle album, Vinacera is the perfect capture of what I think Chevelle is. Vinacera, it's either that or Vinacera, but just an amazing album, and it had bonus tracks on it. Vinacera is so good, man. You got Safer Waters, you got Straight Jacket Fashion, that's what it's called. Well Enough Alone, one of my top 3 on that album. Paint the Seconds, Humanoid, Sleepwalking Elite, which is the bonus track on it. In Debt to the Earth, which is another bonus track. Just every song on this album is amazing. I think it had I Get It, which was the single off that album, or Anti-Saint. And just phenomenal. The Fad. Just every song, once again, bangers. Just fucking awesome. Just awesome band. Then they came out with another 9-song album like they're about to drop called Sci-Fi Crimes, which again, front to back, amazing album. Like, whenever I say Chevelle is my favorite band, it's very hard to pick a favorite band, but why I call them my favorite is they're the band that almost damn near every album I can just throw on a CD and listen to it front to back. Sci-Fi Crimes is great. You got Mexican Sun, you got Letter from a Thief, which I believe is the single off the song, with good reason. Letter from a Thief is beautiful. Leto's Headache, which is the bonus track on that album. Chevelle's always been very melody heavy, very melodic, very lyrically and vocally driven, with a lot of bass, a simple guitar riff, and a little bit of screams here and now, and my friend actually made fun of me for listening to them because he said every song sounds the same, that, it's just simple riffs and simple beats. But dude, sometimes that's all you need, is just a good hook, just a good riff, and, sometimes that's it. That's all you need. And The melodic choruses and Pete's vocals matched with, I believe, Dean's at the time, because, yeah, by 2005, Vinacera, Dean, he was a very good backup singer, and they harmonized very well. But Sci-Fi Crimes, great album. Again, you got Fell Into Your Shoes, Shameful Metaphors, and Jars. Jars is probably a lot of people's favorite song off that album. I believe Jars was the single off that album, and it's a great song. My personal favorite is either Fell Into Your Shoes or Shameful Metaphors. And just again, a rock solid album front to back. And then we get Hats Off to the Bull. And Hats Off to the Bull came out when I was about to enter high school. I think I was in 8th grade. And Hats Off to the Bull was great. You got Face to the Floor, Hats Off to the Bull. Just an amazing CD. But Hats Off to the Bull, you had the Meddler, you had Envy, Clones. And yeah, Hats Off to the Bull, Face to the Floor, which became one of their big hits. And just Ruse. Really love Ruse. A little bit different of an album, though, as far as how they sounded from Wonder What's Next to Sci-Fi Crimes. Hats Off to the Bull was a little bit different. I'm not musically talented. I couldn't break down exactly how it's different, but it just has a different sound, not in a bad way, but a little bit different with how they're sounding. And I like it. The Meddler, just another, again, front to back, solid album. And Glimpse of a Con was a bonus song on Hats Off to the Bull that I forgot to mention, which is a beautiful song. It's slow. It's just a beautiful song. It was actually mine and my high school sweetheart song that we would dance to, and I can't listen to it because it's one of those that, like, I listen to it and I think of that and I get all sad. But an amazing song. But moving on to La Gargola. After that, they came out with the Best Hits Stray of Arrows album and had a song on it called Fizz Gig. I actually don't know what album Fizz Gig is on, but Fizz Gig is an amazing song. It sounds like it would have been on Vinacera or This Type of Thinking, maybe as a bonus song. But everything I've researched, I can't find what album Fizz Gig is actually on. But Fizz Gig, I can actually cover the shit out of that one. And then in high school, about my senior year, they came out with La Gargola, which is, again, another fantastic album. Jawbreaker, Take Out the Gunman. My personal favorite song on it is probably Choking Game, a pretty underrated song. I love the outro in it. Just another banger album. Take Out the Gunman and Hunter Eats Hunter were the singles on this album. Hunter Eats Hunter is an amazing song. You got An Island. And this is when I got to go see them live. And so they were touring for this album. And La Gargola, once again, front to back, amazing album. And I am so glad I got to see them in Kansas City, which they are coming back to on August 10th. And I want to go see them so bad. And La Gargola, another solid album. Then they came out with the North Collider, and the North Collider was actually pretty different. They went for more heavy. They went for way more screams. Their single, Joyride, amazing song. Shot from a Cannon. Shot from a Cannon is the last song on that album. Amazing song. Just fucking love it. It's very, just the bass, man. That's one thing you'll notice about Chevelle is their bass. They're very bass heavy. And just... That song's amazing. Shot from a Cannon, Enemies, Door to Door Cannibals, Warhols, Showbiz, Young Wicked, Last Days. But they went heavier, and it worked. It worked. I didn't like this album as much as the previous ones, but I did like it. I liked more songs than I didn't, and. Yeah, that's basically the change they made is we're gonna go hard on this CD, and they did, and they fucking pulled it off. After this album, they came out with another kind of best hits album. It's called My Bloody Spies B-Sides, and so basically all the extra songs on the deluxe edition of their previous albums were available on here. So Sleepwalking Elite, Fizz Gig, In Debt to Earth, Leto's Headache, all those songs that you could only get by buying the deluxe edition of these CDs were available on 12 Bloody Spies. The Gist, which is actually an instrumental song, amazing. Then they came out with their album, I do not know how to pronounce, right before Persephone was born, called Neuratius. I do not know how to pronounce it. Fun fact, the first song Persephone ever heard was Self-Destructor. Neuratius. And this is the first time with the Chevelle album that I was disappointed. But Self-Destructor, Peaches, and Mars Simula, all bangers. And to be disappointed in their album, but 3 of the songs of like the 10 tracks on that album, that's good. You know, like for that to be their bad CD to me, that's still pretty good. And Self-Destructor, if you've never heard Chevelle before, that's probably the song I would suggest you listen to, because Self-Destructor to me is the perfect culmination of what Chevelle is. That's like the perfect Chevelle song. It is so pretty. The long note that Pete hits in the chorus repeatedly, and just what he does with his vocals, it's just an amazing song. And I'm happy we got that album just for that song alone. And like, I remember with my wife, I was like really excited this album dropped, and we listened to it in the car, and we were just skipping through the tracks. We got to Self-Destructor, and I was like, yeah, this is the single. Like, without even looking, this is the single for sure. And I was right, and I believe Peaches. It was either Peaches or Mars Simula was the other single. Peaches is really good, too. That was actually my ex-wife's favorite song by them. And then now, that brings us to the present, where their new album is going to be called Bright as Blasphemy, and they just released 2 singles, which are a 2-parter, Cowards 1, Cowards Part 2, The Rabbit Hole, Jim Jones, and they are surprisingly both awesome. And what makes them both awesome is they're both awesome in completely different ways. Like I said, one is very vocally driven. You got a good guitar riff and hook in it as well, but very vocally driven, and the notes he's able to hit and drag out as the song goes on is just beautiful. And then Jim Jones is like just one of those like workout songs, man. Very crunchy, very simple riff, but really makes you want to move, and it gets more, and Pete gets more aggressive with his vocals throughout. You know, the chorus, he's singing softly, and then by the end of it, he's screaming it, and the screams he lets out in this are just beautiful. And I am so excited to see the album that comes out. But the whole point in making this video that I want to talk about is that they are criminally underrated. This is their 10th CD that they're about to come out with. Out of 10 CDs, I haven't gotten to hear the 10th one yet, so let's just say out of the 9, only one of them I would say was okay. And I wouldn't even call it bad. I would just say it was okay. But the songs, the highs in the album are super high. So how does a band like this that has put out 8 albums that, in my opinion, you can listen to front to back, not even have 1 million subscribers on YouTube? How the fuck is that possible, dude? But the goddamn Ace Family has like 15 million. It's a fucking shame. Jack Doherty is over here with all the shit he's done. Natalie Reynolds. But Chevelle somehow is one of those bands that like, yeah, I like the red. Chevelle is amazing. That's what this tattoo is. It's their emblem. I want to get it touched up and actually make it black instead of it looking like I've had it for 20 years. Then get a red outline and then put their signature Chevelle like right here. And I would love to go see them on August 10th. I just think it's insane that they're not talked about very much, you know? Like, they're often lumped together with Deftones, Tool, Breaking Benjamin, that kind of rock, but I think they're a step heavier. Well, I would say they're on par with Deftones as far as heaviness, but they're like a step above, you know, Breaking Benjamin. Like, I wouldn't classify them as dad rock, like Stained, Breaking Benjamin, Shinedown, Godsmack, like that alternative. I would not classify them as that. They're a little bit heavier, you know, and they just often don't come up. People don't talk about them, but when you do find somebody that likes them, by golly, they are very passionate about the band. And if you found this video because you're a fan of Chevelle, we are best friends now. So it just an amazing band that I love. That 30 years later, they're dropping 2 singles that are like, wow, these are both really, really good. These are both awesome. Even if the rest of the album sucked, I'm just happy we got both of these songs. But with it being a 9-song album like Sci-Fi Crimes, I bet this album's going to be amazing. And the two extremes of what Chevelle is trying to say, they've always been very lyrically talented and had shit to say. Like, I love their lyrics. Just criminally underrated. Anyway, it's a good time to be a Chevelle fan. Their singles they put out are awesome, and I can't wait for the CD. August 15th, Bright as Blasphemy, and yeah, I just wanted to do a deep dive into them because they're such an awesome band, and they don't get the recognition that I feel like they deserve. And but the people that like them really like them, and it's a really tight-knit community that's actually an awesome community. And yeah, just wanted to talk about them for a little bit. I love you guys. Thank you for watching, and we're at 125, man. Hell yeah. And I'll see you tomorrow.